Good afternoon, LinkedIn fans, Facebook, and now Instagram. It's your favorite Veterans Council Veteran CEO, Tony Williams, and it's time for update. You're gonna love this show. One thing I want to emphasize with Veterans Council Veterans that we are really focused on the family. You'll see some of our conversation as we mentioned that. But first, let me play a little song here. You guys may have been used to. Let's get this here to the stage, and let's get it going. So we guys have a question like, why are you playing that song, We Are Family? I'm going to tell you why we're playing it, because Veterans Council Veterans, for the coming year, we're going to be focusing on families. That's one of the missing pieces when we start talking about taking care of veterans. If we don't take care of our family, then we're not really taking care of our veterans. And you're going to see that in our next upcoming event on the 5th and the 7th of April. We're going to have our 3rd annual Military Sexual Trauma Conference. And the theme is healing families and relationships, So you see that on the 5th through the 7th April at Tampa at the USF Joint Military Leadership Center on 1203 US Genshaft Drive. We're going to talk about, and I'm going to go through the lineup. You got to get a chance because it's just next week. So I got to give you a little bit of insight. What are we going to be talking about? One thing I want to mention to them is we don't really talk about the family, but one of the things you don't know about is that really the Pew Research Center just came out with a report. They said that 77% of veterans over 50 have a family member, a family member. So what is the fallout when a veteran has PTSD or suicidations or anything? What's the fallout? How does that affect the family? Is that something that could be a generational, where we actually sit there and it continue on to be a curse based on the military? Is that somewhere that family may be more vulnerable to PTSD, vulnerable to generational trauma, vulnerable for other secondary trauma? Are they vulnerable? The answer to that is yes, but we got to start having studies. But Veterans Council Veterans, we're going to focus on. I want to give a little insight on couple of videos we're going to talk about, and then we're going to talk about the lineup, how the lineup really meshes up there. So just look at the video here real quick.
Ever wondered what post-traumatic stress disorder, or PTSD, really means? It's a term we often hear, especially in relation to our brave military personnel. But what does it truly entail? Post-traumatic stress disorder is a mental health condition that may develop following a traumatic event. This could be something one has experienced or witnessed. While it's often associated with combat veterans, it's important to remember that PTSD can affect anyone who has been through trauma. So what's it like to live with PTSD? Symptoms can range from flashbacks and nightmares to severe anxiety and emotional distress related to the traumatic event. Individuals may also exhibit avoidance behaviors, a negative shift in mood and thinking, and a heightened state of alertness, known as hypervigilance. But the reach of PTSD extends beyond the individual. It has a profound impact on their families, particularly in the context of military families. Imagine experiencing secondary trauma, feeling the anxiety and emotional turmoil of a loved one grappling with PTSD. Communication becomes a battlefield of its own, as emotional distance and mood swings lead to misunderstandings and strained relationships. Children are not left untouched. The unpredictable nature of a parent's PTSD symptoms can disrupt their routines and create emotional challenges. Family members may develop their own coping mechanisms, some of which may be unhealthy, to deal with the stress of living with someone with PTSD. This could lead to social isolation or even substance use. The unpredictability of PTSD symptoms may also prompt families to withdraw from social activities, leading to feelings of isolation and loneliness. Then there's caregiver stress. Family members often step into the role of caregivers, managing appointments, medications, and emotional support. This role can lead to burnout and emotional strain. And let's not forget the impact on relationships. Marital bonds can be tested by the challenges of dealing with PTSD, as intimacy, trust, and communication may falter. But while the impact of PTSD on military families can be significant, it's not insurmountable. Open communication, professional help, and learning about PTSD together as a family can foster understanding and empathy. Remember, there are resources available to help cope with these challenges. Seeking help and building a strong support network can make a positive difference in managing the effects of PTSD on both individuals and their families. In conclusion, PTSD is a mental health condition that affects not only the individuals who have it, but also their families. It's a journey filled with challenges, but with the right support and resources, it's a journey.
There you go. And tell you something, that video, even though I'm kind of, I don't know, the first guy with the, the guy in the beard and everything like that, that ain't us. I don't know who the actor is, but that ain't us. But the key thing is families are affected too. But we don't hear about them. We don't talk about it. I give the analogy, if a veteran has an accident on the road, the VA will come with the VA hospital, VA ambulance, and they'll take the veteran and make sure he's taken care of. But who's taking care of the family, right? The innocent one. Who's taking care of them? We got to start saying it loud. This is a movement. The family needs access to mental health as well, especially if it's service connected. And I'm gonna tell you, I'm doing my part. I need you to do your part too. You need to go out there and talk to your congressman, get on TV, but we need to start taking care of families, because if we don't, it becomes generational trauma caused by not taking it. So I'm gonna show you a little how I'm doing my part.
Now, it's estimated 17 military veterans die by suicide each day. That's why it's vital to make sure that veterans and their families know where they can find support.
Veterans Counseling Veterans is an organization started by a Tampa man with the goal of creating a safe space for those who have served our country. 10 Tampa Bay's Jenny Dean joining us live this morning with more on an upcoming summit targeted to a specific issue. Good morning, Jenny.
Yeah, good morning, Jameson and Caitlin. The conference you're referring to is coming up in a couple of weeks, and it deals specifically with victims of military sexual trauma. And the president and the founder and CEO, Tony Williams of Veterans Counseling Veterans, he recently read a report that showed female veterans are twice as likely to commit suicide due to military sexual assault. And he really felt like he needed to do something. So he said the goal with this conference is to not just expose the wound, but provide the resources to heal it. And while the last two conferences have been successful, Tony realized that he needed to take a more holistic approach to help heal the families around that veteran.
Theme here is called Healing Families and Relationships, because that's one of the casualties when you are an assault person. So that's why so all of the speakers, the themes is about the families and how the families are affected by this, what things we can do to try to mitigate it. And I've learned that most of the stuff is preventable.
And Tony tells me that because they are addressing healing the family, the entire family, they have several experts that will be speaking at this conference on the subject of generational trauma. He also says that if this conference or any of his work can prevent just one veteran suicide, then it's worth it. Jameson?
Yeah, Jenny, and when and where is this conference, and who should attend this?
Well, it's April 5th through the 7th. It is at USF on their campus. They have a military building there, open to all veterans and their families, and of course veterans who have experienced any sort of military sexual trauma, also advocates and providers who can help in this situation. You do need to register. We have all the information that you need. It's on a link in this story at 10tampabay.com. Live in Tampa, Jenny Dean, 10 Tampa Bay.
Woo! Don't just talk about it, be about it. That's what I always say, it's an instill creed. But too many people are talking about it, but not many people are doing something about it. With Veterans Council Veteran, we're doing something about it. And it's going to start on the 5th and 7th of April. And it's going to be at the USF campus. You know what? We got a little surprise for you. We're going to actually visit the Crisis Center Tampa. They're responsible for the county when it comes to military, when it comes to sexual assault. So we're going to visit their establishment on the 6th of April. And then guess what? We're going to provide you food too. So boom, we got to start doing something about the family, and we're starting it right here. It started here, and it's going to, but it only go further if it starts with you guys as well. I want to show you some of the speakers we have. We got some really great speakers, and I want to show you that because these people care about it as well. First, though, one of the most proudest thing I would say is that Commissioner Dr. Donna Cameron Cepeda is going to be one of our opening speakers for this event. Commissioner Cepeda has been supporting Veterans Council Veterans ever since she was elected. And you know what? She's an Army veteran too. And so she understands, and a pastor Christian, she understands the impact that military sexual trauma, PTSD, so to go on, the effect they have on a family. So it's important that when she speaks, that she's talking not just from anecdotally, but she knows how important it is that we have to take care of the family as well. So I really appreciate you. Kudos to Dr. Cepeda. Also, who else do we have coming here? Let me look here. Look at my little bag here. We got Colonel, retired Jeff Jarvis. I mean, I've known this guy. I've watched this guy since I've been going to school. I tell you, this guy been on 34 years in the Army, clinical side of the house. He has done all the ones. You see a little bird on it. He's done it all. He's been commanding the medical command. He is just really know it. And also, he's a male survivor. He's going to sit there and give us the rundown of what things we could do and look for when it comes to PTSD in the family. So I'm excited to have Jeff. And Jeff, I can't wait to get here. Also, boom, we got Chaplain Matthew Gallo. Matthew Gallo is a chaplain. He's going to talk about the moral injury. Apparently, the Air Force is finally understanding the importance of moral injury. But how does that affect the family? What does that look like for a family member? So I'm excited about that. Thank you. Another one, boom, we got Dr. Kimberly Kinsler. Dr. Kimberly Kinsler is a veteran, and her and her husband are veterans. So she's right here in Tampa, and she's going to talk about how we can prevent generational trauma. That's not something you heard much about, but we need to start hearing more and more about it. Generational trauma, generational trauma, generational trauma. You heard it here. And Dr. Kimberly's going to sit there and talk about how we can prevent generational trauma. So I'm excited about that. Who else do we have, Tony? Tell us. I'll tell you another thing we got going. We got panels. We're going to have a mental health providers panel talking about military sexual assault discussion. We have on here, we got Dr. Sarah Nicholas, who's also a member of Veterans Council Veterans. We got Dr. Amber Husmith, who actually works for he works in the James A. Haley mental health side, and she's an expert when it comes to military sexual trauma. And one picture we're missing here, I'm so sorry, make sure I have next time, is Dr. Michael Mays, a Omega. I'm a Sigma, so woo. But the bottom line is that Dr. Mays will be part of that panel as well. And Dr. Mays is an Air Force veteran, retired rank of E9. Dr. Nicholas is a child of a veteran, so she's coming from that point. And of course, Amber is also part of the VA world. Who else we got, Tanya? Who else we got? I'm gonna tell you who else we got. We got panels. One of our panelists is going to be Christy Hynett. Christy and her husband have already created a nonprofit that you'll also hear about. And last year, Christy came to our event last year, and she was fully pregnant. Now she's got the little baby boy, and she really is going to be a great spokesman and advocate for military sexual trauma, assault, and the family. Christy, thank you, great having the board. And then a repeat, Major retired Tanya Ford, and also a Sorrow Gomez Zeta. She's also going to be there talking about military sexual assault in the family and how it affects the family. Dude, you can't go through all this stuff. This is for 3 days, and it only costs $25. And guess what? We feed you. Definitely on Saturday, we feed you. So definitely share. This is about healing the family, healing, stop the generational trauma that continues on, and talk about things that have not. And I tell you and I was just on Valerie. I don't know if you guys know Valerie Lavin. She's a CEO and she's actually the president of Action Zone. I was just on her show yesterday. So we want to make sure this is something that cannot be done by one individual, one organization. Veterans Council Veterans may be starting a lawnmower, but we're not going to be doing a mowing. It's going to require you guys out there to sit there and talk to your legislators. We need to start providing families. We need to start healing the families. So and just walk away. With too much time, we're in wars, and no one's really talking about it. So I tell you, I'm excited about that. You should be excited. I tell you what, if you mention in 10 minutes, if you send me a text. I mean, I don't know. First of all, I don't know how many people out there got families. If you're a veteran and you got a family, raise your hand, right? Because you exist in plain sight. But I tell you what I want to do. For the next 10 people that mentions CEO update, put it by text, whatever. CEO update. I will provide you a free ticket. If you put in there CEO update, you will get a free 3-day pass to our conference on the 5th and 7th of April. All you gotta do is say something in the chat, link me up, and I'll make sure you get the coordinations to go on there. And we're gonna start having T-shirts. I didn't bring along. I'll make sure I'll bring it next time. We got T-shirts that says Veterans Families Mental Wellness Matters. Okay, it matters when we start selling T-shirts out there. So you've been there, so we can continue this movement. So I hope you're excited. I'm excited. It's going to be here. I mean, before you know, it's going to be right here. It's going to be, again, it's April 5th and the 7th, which is next week at USF Tampa Military Leadership. I want to give kudos to shout outs to Suncoast Mental Health Council Association. They're going to actually provide sponsor us for having CEs. So if you're looking for CEs, you get them here at Veterans Council Veterans. CEs are definitely provided, and it's $25. $25. You get CEs. You get 3 days of healing. You get a chance to network and support, and you get free food. So tell me, where else can you get a better deal than that? At the same time, we are really taking care of the veteran. You know, you hear people all the time saying, "Oh, thank you for your service." Yeah, got it, right. But you really want to help us thank you for our service. Pass this on, share this. Everybody, this event is for not just veterans, but families of veterans, those who support veterans, both who provide services for veterans, those who are mental providers. We need all board. We need all person on deck for this, because it's definitely a village problem that has been made up. So, I just got to get that out. And I want to give a real shout out to Kevin, a guy named Kevin Cagle. Let me see, I got the video here. Here it is. Show a little video of Kevin, and shout out. Kevin will be there as well. It takes the whole village to be effective when it comes to suicide prevention. I want you to know that Veterans Council Veterans is part of that community. You will see that suicide is our main focus. We want to welcome other organizations part of this, because it's going to take the village.
My name is Kevin Cagle, and I am a U.S. Army veteran, and I'm a military sexual trauma survivor. Every day is a battle, every single day. But I'm not that same person I was 6 years ago that woke up in the morning, grabbed a bottle of vodka, and chased it with beer until I would just pass out at night, and I would beg God to not let me wake up in the morning. I'm not that guy anymore. And I've taken this bad experience that I had, and I'm doing something positive with it. There was no question that I had to do something with what happened to me, and I've had a voice, and I'm being heard. But I have Tony from Veterans Council and Veterans to thank for that. I've met numerous male survivors from military sexual trauma since I've been on this journey, and they wake up every day, grab that bottle, start taking pills, whatever it takes, just to get through the day. And they constantly think about suicide. And if I can keep one person from doing that, it'll be worth it.
Kevin said, and we echo that model as well. If we can save one veteran and their family, it is absolutely worth it. It's absolutely worth it. And this is all it takes. If you can't be there, share, caring. And guess what? I got sick of you guys. Because of the demand that we're getting, as far as people saying, we can't make it. We're going to actually provide a virtual broadcast. Stay tuned, virtual broadcast. If you can't make it here and you still want to be part of this, you can still sign up. Okay, so we're trying to do it. We're on our part to make sure that we are taking care of the veterans' families. I need you to do your part as well. Whew. Now, I know I mentioned earlier, and I will talk about it quickly. March is Women's History Month. And I know a couple weeks ago I showed a tape where I actually interviewed Deputy Secretary of the VA, Tanya Bradsher, and that's something I'm proud of. She's the first woman to be in that, as far as being confirmed in that position, and all. And so that was exciting as Women's History Day. And I want to also show some stuff to her. This is her family, because again, families. Tanya mentioned about how important family was and the ups and downs being in the military, and how her mother stepped up and took care of the family. And that's her husband right there. You see on there, who was retired from the military intelligence. Tanya did 20 years, and he did, I think her husband did 30. And so 06, so good stuff on G2. And we got up there, we got the families, all the families there as well. They're just as important, and they are sacrificing too. Don't let anybody kid you and think that, the family just got, The families are sacrificing too, and that's why we have to take care of them. So that is my goal. That is my purpose. That is what I need to be doing, and I need you to help me because I cannot do this by myself. And God, I know one thing about God, He makes sure I'm not doing it by myself. There are people out there that know somebody, or if not themselves, that may need this help, and you can easily do it just by sharing. What does it take to share? Whew. I just want before we go on, I want to give a little bit of congratulations. So those guys who don't know it, whatever. In November, I was inducted into the Florida Veterans Hall of Fame. And it's a God assignment, so it usually means that God got more work for me to do.
Our final inductee into the class of 2023 is retired Army Major Tony Williams Jr. He lives in Tampa, and we welcome him into the Florida Veterans Hall of Fame.
So I think I had to put that up there too. But I tell you, when that is not really for bragging, it doesn't really do anything for me. What it's really telling me is that I'm having an impact, but I need to do more of an impact. That's why God's giving me that platform. So again, let's just don't talk about it. Let's be about it. Whew. Man, time go by real fast. Don't forget about our event. Sign up. So limited. It's got one more week. 5th to the 7th of April. USF Tampa. We're going to take care of you. It's for healing families. So if you got anybody who's suffering, they don't like to suffer in silence. That's what we're there for. Whew. Well, until then, I'm going to check you guys later. I had to have another great 3 or 4 days. I got it busy. I got to go out there. Got to grind. But that's what we're going to do. It's about taking care of the veterans and their families. You can't do that sitting around just complaining. You got to be out there as well. So this is Tony Williams from Veterans Council Veteran. This is your VCV CEO update. I'll see you on the other side.